Mambety highlights angst and somehow touches upon hustle culture, at least 30 years before it became a thing. We discuss this and more on today's episode. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Around the Weird, Strike the Sun, many things like that. Where I talk about usually books, unusual and out of the ordinary books, but today, as per usual, at least once a month, I talk about movies with Lucas from the channel that they are from. And today's movie is all about hyenas and Senegal and stealing from the act of stealing and whatnot. I am referring to Touki Bouki, or otherwise known as Journey of the Hyena. And that was made in 1973, written and directed by Djibril Diop Mambety. And this is a version that was sort of restored by Martin Scorsese. He seems to be a really big fan. It's also starring Magaye Niang and Marime Niang. I don't know their relation to one another. And as per usual, I am joined by Lucas over here, Dr. Strike the Sun. How are things for you today?
I'm very good. I had a great time rewatching this movie, which horrified me again, all over again at the beginning. But I do think it was well worth revisiting. And I'm glad that we can talk about it, because I feel like there's not too much going on, but there are some very powerful scenes for sure with the characters and with the, let's say, the meat industry of Senegal at the time, but also some really interesting sound design choices, particularly with the song that repeats about Paris, in relation to the hopes and dreams of the main young main characters of the movie, but also again with that meat industry element, this industrial soundscape that happens from time to time.
I'm looking forward to talking about how nothing ever good comes from France.
Yeah, so that was actually a really good line from the movie, because Senegal used to be a French colony. They got their independence, but there's talk of neo-colonialism in the movie, especially near the end. But we can get there. Yeah, so just heading into the movie, it begins with cow slaughter. Which is really disgusting.
I was
eating dinner while watching this movie, and it was like, that's a mistake, because the cow's head is nearly off. And if I had to guess, this is kind of symbolism for what's going to happen to Mory in the story. Who, like, there is no escape from Senegal. There is only slaughter for young people like him.
Yeah, definitely. I did not pick up on that the first time I watched it. I was just like horrified by the cutting of the throat, and the cutting of big chunks of meat of the throat and the bloodletting. This is not for the faint of heart, especially even if you eat animals, like, especially if you like really love and care about animals. It's like, ugh. Yeah. Not to mention just like the working conditions. These guys, like, that's not the worst of it. The way the animals are being slaughtered is the worst, but like the working conditions of the dudes there, they're stepping all over mud. There's no real sanitary anything going on. It is a bleak, gruesome, nasty, disgusting, horrible place, and it is so visceral. Now let's check in with our main characters. This clearly has nothing to do with the plot.
Yeah. The main character is Mory, who is a college student. Things don't seem to be going well at the college because his mom refers to it as a freak show. And at the beginning, we're kind of introduced to Mory because his mom is sort of like a trader of sorts, just trading goods. And like his mom and her neighbor friend are chatting, and Maury comes up and is like, "Are you gonna pay for any of that? You never pay for any of that." And they just start shit talking him.
Yeah, well, part of the reason this also comes up is because the two women are talking about Maury's future plans, and basically all the young people of Senegal at the time, or at least the college-educated ones, it seems, who dream of going to the colonizing country's land. Right? They all dream of going to France, particularly to Paris in this case, because there's more money to be made, more work opportunities. I don't want to say like more culture, but more culture in the sense that it's big and important and big important place, so to speak. Whereas here in Senegal, definitely like culture, but the living conditions and working conditions and everything are horrifying, and the people are fairly corrupt. So it's the grass is greener on the other side kind of thing. We will later find out, through this conversation, we hear that nothing good comes from France, but we will later find out that actually, in fact, the French kind of suck.
Yeah, surprise there. But it does seem like there's really nothing of opportunity here.
Yeah.
The cops are corrupt in Senegal, and there is a mention of the Red Cross and how they're crooks because of all their money. So the international forces are not that great. So yeah, what do Mory and Anita? I don't really know what her name
I think it's Anta.
Anta. What do they really have to look forward to?
Well, we see them. We see Anita or Anta's hand on the backside of his motorcycle as they're going to town with each other.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, you see a lot of naked Anta. She's wearing a jacket in most of the movie, and she's like naked under the jacket. We're all naked underneath our clothes, but she's not wearing any like shirts or anything like that.
Just say it. You see some titties.
Yeah, I see some titties. I see some boobs. But before we get to there, Maury's attacked by a gang of people. I don't really know what their thing is.
College students, other college students. I guess they were part of the freak show, right?
Yeah.
Or just some guys who didn't go to college and see him as an outcast in some way. I wasn't quite sure what was their thing, but they're picking on Mory and crucifying him, kind of.
Yeah, he's a bit of an outcast, as you said, because he rides a motorcycle with a cow skull on it.
I wish I could be this effortlessly cool as Mory.
He is pretty cool. So he's like a woman just like laughs at him. She sounds a bit like a hyena as she's laughing. So the story's called The Journey of the Hyena. So I think that's that connection there. And then Mory and Anta, they're talking about wanting to leave, and that's where the Red Cross comes up. Like they're wondering how they're going to get the money, and Maury's plan is he's going to make it look like he has money, get connections with the right people, and then they'll be able to leave. And one way that he sort of starts that process is he goes to like a street game and is like, I'm betting $1,000 on in this game, and they're like, okay, and he ends up losing, and he runs away after losing, but everyone thinks he has $1,000 to spend now, which is a very fun con, I would say.
Yeah. They do all sorts of fun little things with each other. Um, this con a little bit later with the gay police officer guy who's got connections, and then yeah, some other stuff when they're dressed to impress. Um, there, I don't know. I would say it's like every single thing that they do. There's no opportunities, but they've got to hustle and lie, lie, cheat and steal any way they can to hopefully go live a better life. But in a way, it's like very dehumanizing. Like all the people are very disrespectful to each other in every way. It's like kind of shocking to see how everybody is just putting each other down all the time. Like this kind of stay in your place attitude.
Like even your own mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mom is just like so angry at Mory for everything he does. Is dark and depressing. I guess it's very much like that that metaphor of the crabs in a barrel trying to climb out and pulling each other down. That's basically this movie.
Yeah, but like that's not always the case, especially if you have a little bit of money, which is even more we'll get there, but it's even more like sad.
Yeah, that's for sure. Anyway, what I'm forgetting what happens next.
Yeah, he runs into a police officer who in like sort of pantomimes that he's gonna shoot him, but it's just like, give me a cigarette, boy. It seems like police officers are very corrupt here. And that same police officer is guarding a blue box, which they go to a wrestling kind of thing. I don't know exactly what the sport is.
Oh yeah. I forget the name of the sport, but yeah.
But they decide to steal the blue trunk, and again, an effort to show that they have money to people. They don't know what's inside the blue trunk, so they get a taxi driver to take it to a sort of abandoned home by the sea, and Anta is making it seem like it's like her stately manse or something like that, and Mory gets stopped by a police officer, and then follows along. And we get to like a very funny part of the movie where Anta's having the taxi driver sort of take the box into the home, and he's curious about what's inside, and he opens it up and sees a skull, and he just runs away screaming.
Yeah. Well, I think a little bit before that, like while they're taking the box home, that part is hilarious when he freaks out about the skull. A little bit before that, there's another police officer on the street who kind of waddles around and is doing everything he can to make sure, like, Mory points out, like, hey man, don't I know you, or something like that. And
he calls him brother, and I thought, like, is this actually his brother who's not now pretending not to know him?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, don't associate with me. Don't try to ruin my career. I don't know you. Something like that. And like, maybe they're friends. Maybe this is like, brother is kind of like well, they're speaking French in the movie. No, I guess not Senegalese or whatever language in this city, at this part of Senegal they would speak. So maybe like African francophones use some words. I've never heard of French people calling each other brother, like, or sister. This happens in Chinese a lot and in some other languages, and it's just like a friendly thing. I don't know for sure, but maybe they are brother and he's gotten lucky and moved away.
Yeah, or just someone he knows in the community.
Yeah, it could be.
The movie doesn't really
And
elaborate on it.
yeah, I'm not too sure, but I do love when the taxi driver runs off.
Mhm.
If I recall, their next, Mory and Anita or Anta go to the beach and or yeah, I think to the beach, and they're talking about I think fixing up the bike.
Yeah, they also talk about trying to take a boat to
Oh
France, but
yeah,
like it's one of the decaying like huge freighter ships that's in the area. But Anta's like it's not going to work.
yeah,
Instead, they decide to go to a nearby sort of pool type area where
yeah,
one of the gay people that they know is who has
yep,
money. They end up riding on like a paddle boat inside this pool, which is incredibly strange. But like Maury is taken inside the house so he can chat with this gay man.
yeah,
And like he's the gay man is encouraging him to take a shower with him. And while that's happening, Maury's stealing his clothes and his money, which again kind of funny. The picture there. Maury meets Anta outside, and she's also stolen money from somebody. You could probably say a lot. They're stealing from their fellow man, and like even though like the colonialism isn't there to sort of oppress them anymore, I think they're still kind of oppressed from its
well,
lingering effects.
from what I've read or heard, like you see in Ousmane Sembène's movies about Senegal, like Black Girl. Well, that's kind of more specifically about Senegalese going to France. But I forget what other movies I've watched of Ousmane Sembène. He's a different Senegalese director, communist too, I believe. Incredible film director, but there one of his movies. I don't remember if it's Black Girl or the other one that one of the other ones I've seen, but yeah, I think it's one of the others. And you see very clearly there is this kind of point made about like in a sense, colonialism never left because it's sort of the like chosen good ones who now have taken the place of the colonizers.
Mm-hmm.
I forget which movie it is, but there's something that this movie does that is very similar to whichever Ousmane Sembène movie I'm thinking of. Where like some of the cinematography is really, really good at making like a poignant, beautiful picture that explains exactly like why is this community like this or why is this country like this? Because you will see, particularly like the area that Mory is from, you see these like just horrible, destitute sheds, and in the background are these beautiful brand new skyscrapers.
Mm-hmm.
And Ousmane Sembène does the same kind of thing. And the people who live in those skyscrapers are no longer the colonizers, but the like the chosen ones or whatever, who like the good ones, or
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. So you see this. I think that is still relevant, prevalent here, and probably what ended up happening historically to some degree. I mean, there's also the imperialistic element where France was is still controlling big parts in some way,
Mm-hmm.
and European countries as well. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to make that point that this movie does a really good job of having these very strong images that show just the word poverty versus new modern lifestyles, which this gay man has. And he's also got connections because when he sees that he's been stolen from, he calls the police force and asks for the head honchos
And this movie seems to be implying that much of the police force is gay. It's just like, okay, like,
I wonder if that's like,
yeah,
if it's like he's calling in favors and they get some money for like pay for gay kind of thing. Maybe some of them actually are gay. You don't really see that, but there is this implication that he knows at least three of the head officials in the
yeah,
police station. And the way he talks about them or to them is very like flirtatious too. So I don't know. But that was kind of my thought. Maybe they take some payments just so he can stay out of trouble, but also maybe like for a little bit extra too. Because we've already seen them be corrupt and demand.
yeah.
I mean, cigarettes are one thing. It's very different from money or like pay for gay or gay for pay or whatever. But I don't know. That's kind of left unspoken, but there is
Yeah.
something going on there. There's also this white guy.
A caveman that like Anta loses control of the bike, and then like there's a guy who's like looks vaguely cavemanish, who we only see like 2 times in the movie, and he steals Maury's bike.
Yeah.
He's the
I
only
don't know
white
what to
guy.
make.
Yeah,
I don't know what to make of him. I don't know why he's white. I don't know what does this symbolize something? Is it just a weird thing? I don't understand, but I dig it.
I'm not the only white guy, I should say, but yeah, it's very strange. But Maury is naked in the car, very freeing,
Oh
while
yeah.
Anta rides
Oh
the
yeah.
bike nearby, and then there's a parade, and um, it's that part that's interesting because like Maury and Anta are looking really cool, effortlessly cool,
They
and
are styling and profiling. They
they are
look sharp.
they are counting their money, and the family members who were previously ridiculing Maury are now dancing for him, and he's just like handing out fat stacks to those people.
Yep.
And that's really sad to me. Like that's like I think that's the ultimate message is how money can be like a corrupting force, but money is also just like something these people need.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's like this is something that's said in The Sopranos, but like you're only as good as your last payment or whatever. Like yeah, your last envelope. Oh, you're only as good as your last envelope, I think is what they say. What Silvio says to Paulie because he's been giving less and less money. Now that Maury has shown up with a bunch of money. Whoa, Maury, hey! They do a dance at the end of the parade. They're all like singing. The song, there's something to be said about like this is horribly depressing, like the reality of it. But I really appreciate having this song and dance like showing like this part of the culture. It's really cool to see this thing, but it's like perverted by their greed and, or maybe not greed, but desperation. An element of like you're only good to me if you're bringing in money. Yeah, like it's beautiful, but it's to me like I really like that that's there, but it's also being perverted by these things and making me even more sad. Like I want to see them celebrating something cool and happy without this like horrible feeling that they don't actually care about him unless he's profitable to them or whatever.
I did see it's worth noting a video where Martin Scorsese was talking about this, and he had mentioned that like Bane, the guy that you had previously mentioned, like he was the first really prolific filmmaker in Africa,
Yeah.
but
Usman Sembé.
yeah, Usman Bane. And then Mambety came around afterwards, but Mambety didn't really have any formal training. He just picked up a camera. I don't think this was his first movie, but like for someone to be able to sort of be this competent at filmmaking without any like training. Well, I really don't think you need training, but like he certainly knows what he's saying, and he does it well. So I think that's important.
He found his style or his vision immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say everything works. I kind of like the song. The Peri. I forget the melody, but the Paris song, like the little slice of heaven in Paris or something like that. I like the song. I'm fine with it playing a lot. It seems like from your review on Letterboxd, you were less of a fan.
Yeah, it kind of gets on my nerves. Like I'm like, I get it. I know what you're trying to say. Stop hammering it in my head.
Yeah, I can see that, but I like repetitive. I guess it's not really a leitmotif, but I like the repetition. It worked for me. What I really love is a little bit later when things are really going south for Mory and Anta or Anita. They're like I don't maybe it's actually in the middle of the movie, but because they still have the motorcycle, I think. I'm kind of forgetting. But you're hearing sort of the same soundscape of the oh no, it's at the end, I think. You're hearing the same soundscape of the
slaughterhouse.
The slaughterhouse while they're together and like some other stuff is going on. And you don't see the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
But you're hearing the slaughterhouse, and it's like I thought that was really effective.
Yeah, it's good. It kind of drags on for a long time because Mory's
I agree. I agree.
It's like I was like, okay, yeah, I get what you're trying to say, but like, yeah, it just brings home how Mory's not going to be able to escape. And even if he could escape, would he really find that better life in Paris and France, or would it just be more of the same for somebody who is, an outsider like him, someone who's black?
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see. That's an incredible part when he runs away.
People are looking for Mory, and like they managed to make it to the Answerville, the boat. And then on the boat, we see a bunch of French people talking shit about Senegal. A little on the nose, but they're saying things like their servant asked for a raise, and they're just a bunch of children. They talk about like, oh, how they point the finger at me because I'm a neo-colonialist, but I'm actually a very normal person. It's you all who are
Yeah, they're criticizing Mao Zedong as well, and saying which country, Italy's communists have gone too far, and this and that, and then they start criticizing Senegal and their servants, like about wanting money, and yeah. Sorry, finish your thought.
No, yeah, they're saying all that like really harsh things, which the neo-colonialists, a lot of like these people believe this. It makes you think of a lot. Makes me think of like the people who are like Europe's immigration policies today, how they're more lax than ours, but they're also becoming more strict because they view the people coming from the Middle East and Africa as barbarians. Yeah, so like if these are the French people who like are in France, what awaits Mory if he were to make it? It wouldn't be much better because this is how they view like people in a country that is not their own, where they're visiting. Imagine what happens when he's in Paris. It might be a little bit better, but they're never going to see him as equals.
Yeah, that's right. He would be stuck between worlds in a way. There is the slaughterhouse part again. Mory doesn't make it, but Anita does get on the boat.
Mm-hmm. Looking really
she's
cool.
Got a chance. Yeah, that's cool. She deserves it. Mory deserved it too, to be fair. But it wasn't meant to be.
Mory like goes to like a crash that's taking place. The white guy, the caveman looking man who was on his motorcycle crashed, and as he's being carted off, the the dude says it was a beautiful beast, and I don't really that struck out to me as well, because what's he specifically talking about here? Is he referring to the motorcycle? Is he referring to Mory's spirit, which is slowly being crushed, or is he referring to Mory himself? I think you could argue, he's not just referring to the motorcycle there.
Yeah, I think they're all connected, like that motorcycle, which he's been ridiculed for because they called him a child. His mom called him a child for having the horns, even though it's badass as fuck. And Mory has never done anything wrong in his life. Maybe he shouldn't steal, but we can forgive. We can forgive a Senegalese king.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? But like that was his freedom, right? Like that gave him. I mean, his freedom, I guess, would have been going to Paris, but it wasn't meant to be. It couldn't happen. That was crushed, and so was his motorcycle. And so I do think it was his spirit that he's specifically talking about, but that was the symbol for it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Mory is just kind of sitting, like Anita's looking forward to her new life, looking sharp, looking gorgeous as ever, and Mory is just sitting on these steps while a soldier or somebody, maybe a high level ranking police officer or someone, walks by him, and Mory just has his head down. End.
Yeah, that's it right there. It's very sad. It's they cut Mory and Anta deserve more. Like the people of Senegal deserve more, but
yeah. There's some people on a boat, and then you see young kids herding more longhorn cows, and then it ends.
Yes,
and they're being brought to the slaughter. The cycle continues. That's right. Continue with what you were saying. Sorry.
No, yeah, it's very sad. I think it's really well done. Like it's repetitive in annoying ways at times. Like the scenes sometimes go on for too long. Like it's just like a 5-minute scene of Mory running from the boat, and like with the slaughterhouse kind of over it. And it's like, how long does that really need to be?
Sure.
But that's my main concern there.
It worked for me. But I understand the frustration. Overall, spectacular, amazing for a first movie where he's still. I mean, now that I know it's maybe his first movie or like his second or something, I can kind of see it because of a few weird choices, I guess. This repetition, as you say, the length of some films, but it's like this dude had a vision and he executed it almost flawlessly. Just bravo. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm moved. The first time I watched it, I give it 2 stars. I don't really know why. I think I kind of missed some of the metaphors. But I did think it was mesmerizing, which I think was what I put for my first review. Like, there is something about it visually that is really beautifully captured. Great cinematography. But this time I caught the metaphors. I caught the despair of the situation. And I loved it so much more. And I'm just amazed, like, this is your first or maybe second movie, like...
yeah, he puts a lot of effort into it, but if someone has something to say, they're gonna find a way to say it, and he does clearly have something to say about the world, the place that he lives in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, incredible movie. I wish more African films, not just Senegalese or West African, but North or Central or East or Southern African movies were more readily available to see what other voices have been saying what about Namibia or Kenya or Morocco or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it does seem like they're being made, but people like Martin Scorsese have to come along and kind of preserve them, or else they're just going to be lost. And
Anyway,
again, another neo-colonialism white savior thing, which I didn't mean to.
maybe we can rely on, yeah. Here's to hoping more great movies make their way to the rest of the world from Africa. I guess that leaves us with one very important question. Which of these characters did you relate to the most?
Yeah, I think Mory is kind of like a universal character. I think everyone can kind of relate to him in some way. He wants that better life, and he's willing to hustle and push for it. And
Sure.
I think we'd all be driven to steal if we were in Mory's position. So yeah, I think I kind
For
of
sure.
identify with him.
Yeah, I think for me, I feel like I am more like Anita, actually, in the sense that I can relate to Maury and his despair, but I feel very fortunate that I have moved and found a really wonderful place. And I feel like I made it to the other side, right? Which is what Anita is going to do. We don't know her fate, but she had that opportunity. She was lucky enough to have the opportunity. Best of luck to her. So in this way, I feel Anita or Anta is the one that I relate to the most. We don't know her fate, but I do feel like I got lucky enough to have the opportunity to, I don't want to say escape, but to move to greener pastures. Even though I didn't know what was going to come, I feel very fortunate. So I would say I relate more to Anta, although I do also relate to Mory, just Anta a little bit more.
Yeah, hopefully for Anta, but I personally have my doubts just because solo woman in a new place, that's ripe for exploitation.
If you've ever seen Black Girl by Usman Sembane, which I highly recommend,
I'll
and may hold off, you will find out what probably could have what would happen to Anta. It's not pretty.
That's sad. But yeah, what do you have planned for us in August?
Well, my dear friend, let me double check to make sure I get the title correct. It's been a long time that we've been doing this. I don't recall us watching a Chinese film. Do you?
Who made Egg and Stone?
Oh yeah, we watched one. We're gonna watch another one. This one has more of a following and is more widely acclaimed. It's gonna hurt, but not like Egg and Stone. This is a story called Farewell, My Concubine, where two boys are going to meet at an opera training school, and tragedy is going to strike between the two.
That sounds like it's going to be heart-wrenching.
Yeah. But it's not going to be as excruciatingly painful. It's just going to hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Farewell, My Concubine. I will look into that. But yeah, that seems to be the end of our discussion here today. Great movie. Can't wait to sort of find more African cinema, which I'm pretty sure is varied given the region that you're in. But yeah, if you have any comments or anything you'd like to say, let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to Lucas's channel if you want more information about them. And like, share, subscribe if you want to find out more about this. Share this sort of movie out there or something like that. And also just tell more people about this channel because I'm pretty cool. And until then, we wish you the best of luck in your weird and African cinema based travels. Farewell.
Farewell.